Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to another video. Today we're going to be going through woke Instagram. Something I rarely do. Normally I go through woke TikTok because the wokies over there are just running rampant. But recently I've been seeing a lot of posts on Instagram that have me raising a rock eyebrow. So, I found some videos that I want to go over with you guys so we can react to them together to see if they meet the metrics for woke craziness. So without further ado, let's watch these videos together, react to them together, and discuss. Grab some popcorn, grab some Coca-Cola, and let's get to it.
I just saw this group of teenagers deliberately making marks and scratch marks with their Lime scooters, just all around.
Several witnesses confronted the group and called police.
We're not going to sit by as we watch people deliberately commit a hate crime, right in the middle of downtown.
After looking at security footage, officers arrested 3 teenagers. 2 are minors and 1 is 19-year-old Ruslan Turco.
You are charged with 1 count malicious mischief.
Turco had his first appearance in court this afternoon. The judge released him under the condition he doesn't go near the crosswalk or the other teenagers. Prosecutors, though, had asked the judge to set a $15,000 bond since that's how much it costs to repaint the mural.
The community really came together to raise the money for them to be able to do it before the parade on Saturday.
Now this vandalism just hours after that repaint and only a few weeks after someone else set fire to the mural.
It sucks to be reminded in moments like this that there are still people out there that, have hate in their hearts for other people, so yeah.
But Kaylee wants everyone to know the love outweighs the hate here on Howard and through the entire city.
Huh? So wait a minute. You guys saw what I saw, right? Which is a mural that is literally on a crosswalk where cars are driving through on the ground. And you're upset because kids were riding their scooters over the crosswalk where they normally would have to crosswalk through and made tire marks on them. And you're upset. And now they're being charged with a felony with $15,000 of bond. You know what blows my mind about this? Okay, first of all, if you're going to put a mural up, it's probably best not to put it in the middle of the road where cars are driving over it if you don't want tire marks on it. I'm just saying. You might want to put it on a wall somewhere or put it on a billboard. The normal stuff, right? To put it on the ground, plastered on the ground, to me makes 0 sense because naturally you're going to get tire marks, you're going to get road marks, you're going to get, it's going to get dirtied up. It's not going to be the way it looked when you first painted it. That's number 1. Number 2, what happened to freedom of speech? What happened to freedom to protest? Last I checked, it isn't a felony to burn the American flag. In fact, we see the wokies doing it all the time during their Hamas-supporting protest and every other protest against America. They burn the flag, they step on the flag, they spit on the flag, they rip the flag up, and nobody bats an eye.
Police murder, terror, mass incarceration of black and brown people, and a worldwide empire of destruction, genocide, and occupation and nuclear annihilation.
Baby bird!
Burn, baby bird!
For the people of the world!
For the people of the world!
Nobody goes to jail, nobody gets in trouble, nobody has a felony charge. They are free to disrespect and disregard American flags all the time. But when it comes to the pride flag, that's where we draw the line. That's where you can get arrested and your entire life can be changed if you touch the pride flag, which by the way, they're on version 65 at this point. They keep adding new colors. To me, this is just about look at me, we want attention like they do every June. And then you get negative attention and get upset about it. But the problem is when you're asking for attention from everybody, you are going to draw in attention from everybody, which means the good and the bad, which means the positive and the negative. And again, I'm not saying that it's okay to tarnish anybody's flag, but what I'm saying is if it's okay to tarnish one flag, why is it a crime to tarnish the other? This is why people view the alphabet community as a mob, as a cult, as gangsters, because they're untouchable. The movement is untouchable, which is why I want nothing to do with it, because of stuff like this. I mean, it's just she's literally talking, and as she's talking on the clip, you see a car passing right over the flag, right over it, which made me crack up because it's what if that guy accidentally created tire marks? Is he gonna get a felony too? I'm just asking for consistency here, right? If it's okay to tarnish the American flag, if it's okay to be disrespectful towards the American flag and veterans and people who serve this country, if it's okay to not stand for the national anthem and to disrespect and disregard our country, why is it not okay to do the exact same thing to a pride flag that represents sexuality? Am I crazy here? Like, it's just not matching up. It's not leveling up here. But that is the world we're living in today. And look, they probably did it on purpose, right? But what if they didn't? What if they were just driving over, having fun, doing wheelies, and oops, got a tire mark on the flag? The fact that that can get you in trouble, the fact that that can put you in jail, and you can have a record. We're not talking about a misdemeanor. We're talking about a felony charge, which is going to stay on your record, folks. This is crazy. And by this time next year, it's probably going to be illegal and a felony charge to not use a person's correct pronouns. I mean, that's where we're heading right now in our country and in our culture. I mean, Dylan Mulvaney said it himself. People who use wrong pronouns, it should be a crime. That's where we're headed right now.
Like, the articles written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over again. And I feel like that should be illegal.
So for this video, as far as the woke metrics, yeah, it's reached the limit. It's reached the limit. Next video.
How is Trump racist?
Do you want to answer this for me?
Nope, this is for you. You made the claim, back it up.
No.
Well, you said I'm an idiot.
He has had multiple people be killed because
He
of
has-
police brutality.
He has had people be killed.
Ma'am, I live in a town where there was riots.
Very good. I'm glad that that's where you come from. However, who has he had killed?
He's caused his police to do it. He has militia-ized this country.
He has militia-ized this
I
country.
can't speak English because I suck at it, but ma'am,
Don't assume my gender.
don't assume your gender. What are your pronouns then?
Zay and Z and princess.
Princess? Damn.
Yes. How is he a racist?
Now that is how you troll the woke. I love that girl. That was freaking great. That was freaking amazing. First of all, the girl's making claims that Trump is a racist, right? So the obvious question would be, okay, so tell me how he's a racist. Tell me specifically what he said that's racist, what he did that's racist. Give me the proof. Tell me. And per usual, the wokey with the mask on can't even give one actual example of how he is supposedly racist. And I love how she jumps up like, no. And then proceeds to not give one specific example. She says, oh, he's directing police to kill. He's militianized. That's a new word. Militianized the people. Like, good Lord. Good Lord. Donald Trump was in pop culture, was in the media, was on TV for over, 40 years? I mean, he's been a known figure for such a long time, and at no point in time was he ever described as a racist. When he was on NBC doing The Apprentice, not once were there any racist claims against him. I mean, he was on one of the most liberal networks, NBC, and they loved him. Democrats loved him. The Clintons loved him. The elite loved him. Rappers loved him. Pop culture loved him. Wrestling fans loved him. Like, this guy was everywhere. He was known everywhere. He was an entertainer. He was a reality TV star, host, whatever you want to call him. He was an entrepreneur. But racist was never in the vocabulary when describing Trump. It wasn't until he became a threat to the Democrat Party and the establishment that suddenly, out of the blue, he's a racist. Not only is he a racist, but he is on par with Hitler, with Mussolini, with Kim Jong-un. Like, he is a dictator. He's a racist. He's evil. Funny. He wasn't any of those things when Hollywood liked him and when the media liked him and when mainstream had no problem with him. It wasn't until he ran for president as a Republican and actually became a threat to politicians and to the establishment that suddenly he's a racist. Suddenly everybody hates him. Suddenly everybody is disgusted by him. Suddenly he is the worst thing that ever happened to this universe. Forget this country, the universe. But for all the years that he was popular, for all the years that he was on mainstream, not one person had an issue with him. Not one claim was made against him being a racist until he became a threat. What a coincidence. Funny how that happens, right? Funny how that happens. Thankfully, people are waking up. People are waking up and they're smelling the coffee and they're realizing that this is all just a big game. This is all just a big ploy. People are scared of Trump. They're scared of change. They're scared of somebody who isn't of the status quo having power. I mean, Robert De Niro, poor Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro did a press conference in which he said that if Donald Trump becomes president, he's never going to leave.
If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
Buddy, we have something called term limits in this country. And Donald Trump was president once before, and guess what? He had to leave after 4 years because he wasn't reelected. Last I checked, he's not president right now. So that means that, he's going to leave eventually when power turns over. That's just how democracy works in this country. I also laugh when people say, oh, if Trump becomes president, we're going to have concentration camps. He's going to bring back slavery. Again, Donald Trump was president 4 years ago, and last I checked, Jews were not put in concentration camps, and slavery was not brought back. Wow. And the irony, of course, is that if I were Jewish, my biggest gripe and fear would be with Democrats and liberals, because we see how they feel about Jews. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. As far as the media goes, oh yeah, this is definitely catastrophic. Next video.
Heart especially aches for our trans children. While the drag ban bill may have been blocked, the trans youth healthcare ban has gone into effect here in Texas, preventing access to hormone blockers that are medically necessary for more than just trans youth. Gender-affirming care is life-saving. Access to healthcare is a basic human right. These policies disproportionately affect LGBTQIA+ youth and people of color. We have a duty to protect our most marginalized communities. Trans kids deserve to grow into healthy adults. Trans kids deserve to grow into healthy adults.
Say what now? Who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell him? I will. Trans kids deserve to grow into healthy adults. You do realize, dude, buddy, pal, that putting children on puberty blockers, is not going to ensure healthy adults. In fact, it may have the exact opposite result because, as we know, puberty blockers on children have not been tested. So we don't know the long-term effects that this is going to have on children by the time they hit 20, 30, and 40. See, these kids are literally the guinea pigs of this movement. So no, we're not advocating for healthy adults. You're actually advocating for the opposite if you're pushing to have children be put on puberty blockers. Like the audacity. The audacity of this individual to actually say that with a straight face. And of course, the go-to is marginalized communities, aka black and brown. You know what's funny? The progressive left, when it comes to the trans movement, is always trying to attach themselves to other movements. I mean, they did it with LGB, right? I mean, the T got added on purpose so they could be under the umbrella of LGB, an already established movement. They also do the same thing when it comes to BLM. Why? Because attaching yourself to an already established movement puts you under protection within that umbrella. Let me tell you something. Gender-affirming care is not life-saving. Gender-affirming care is all about the profits. I did a whole entire video exposing a doctor who was at a medical conference talking about the financial benefits of doing gender-affirming care on children and how profitable it is, how much money you could make as a provider by doing bottom surgery and top surgery and putting kids on hormone therapy. How much money can be made? I mean, this woman was foaming at the mouth at her excitement, talking about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've made, primarily just from gender-affirming care. Doctors nowadays do not care about health. They care about the profits, which is why many of them are willingly changing medical terminology to fit into the mold of the progressive trans movement. And why? Because they want to be on board the money train. That's why. At the expense of kids, who cares? Who cares? To have this clown, on stage advocating for children being put on puberty blockers is absolutely disgusting, but it is also on brand. Do I even need to say it? Next video.
Transgender high school runner who won the Washington State title complained about lack of sportsmanship. Veronica Garcia said she was somewhat hurt that the fellow runners didn't congratulate her after the race and asked to remember she's just a teenager. She got up on the podium to boos from the crowd with one voice shouting she's not a girl.
You're a 2A girl, 400-meter dash.
Garcia won the final race a full second ahead the runner-up. Had the biologically male Garcia run with boys, she would have been 2.5 seconds behind the slowest time. Last month, a trans runner won a girls' track and field Oregon State title and was also booed by the crowd.
I mean, what's the problem? What's the problem with that? If I were in the stands, I'd be booing too. Sorry, I would be. I don't care if you're a teen or a child. You should not be in that race. End of story. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Protect women's sports. Protect it against men coming in to these spaces and dominating these spaces. Protect it. Because every time we walk on eggshells, what we do is we enable these men, these mediocre male athletes, to come over to the female side and take over opportunities from these females who have been working very, very hard to even get to that race. And to have it taken away from them by a biological male is a travesty. It's an absolute travesty. And there's a reason why we're not seeing this on the world stage, right? Like when it comes to world athletics, which, you know, world championships, Olympics, they've already deemed that no, if you are a biological male, I don't care how long you've been on puberty blockers, you are not competing with women, because we care about fairness in sports. I don't understand why on the college level and on the regional level, when it comes to high schools, why this is okay. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. And as you saw from that clip, the biological male that won, who was a second ahead of the other females, would have been 2 seconds behind the males had he run against the men. I mean, that in itself is like, hello, is this thing on? Like, I don't understand how people who are supposed feminists and who are supposed advocates for females, how you can sit back, watch this, and not be bothered by it. It just, I mean, I've done so many videos on this topic, and every time I see a new one, it still blows me away. It really does, because it's like we're living in backwards land. We're living in backwards land, and it doesn't make any sense. And I know some people will say, oh, you shouldn't be booing a child. It's not fair. He's a kid. Don't boo him. You're going to hurt his feelings. You know whose feelings I care more about? The females that have to run against a man and lose against a man and stand on that podium after losing to a man and clap for him. I feel bad for them. Meter, do your thing. Last video I'm going to react to. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Pro-Palestinian protesters have blocked the Philly Pride Parade. Well, who saw that coming? So you have the pro-Palestinian protesters, who many of them are very progressive. Many of them are in the LGBTQ community and have been putting up posters left, right, and center saying LGBTQ for Palestine. And many of us have laughed and said that's like saying chickens for KFC, because as we know, the culture in Palestine does not recognize, respect, or like the LGBTQ community. Like, you will be killed, thrown in prison, kicked off a roof if you are LGBTQ in these communities. But yeah, that doesn't matter, right? And here you have the LGBTQ woke Palestinian protesters battling the normal woke LGBTQ protesters at a pride parade, not letting them march because they're upset, I guess, because you shouldn't be marching for pride when a war is going on in the Middle East, I guess. I say let them fight. I say let them tear each other apart. Let them eat each other alive. Go right ahead. It's almost like the woke Olympics, right? It's like, who can be more woke? Who can be more progressive? Who can be more extreme? I saw this coming. I'm glad it's happening. And you reap what you sow, right? You guys created this crazy leftist movement. Fight amongst yourselves. It's the woke Hunger Games, and I definitely want to watch that flick.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge.
Yeah, I'm definitely watching that movie. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this compilation video. What was your meter when it came to these videos? Was it extreme, catastrophic? Was it not so bad? Let me know in the comments down below which was the worst video that you saw from this compilation. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. And if you guys want to watch my full playlist of social commentary, click on the link over here where you can watch over 100 videos of yours truly. Until next time, peace.